Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everything's going well. Hope you guys are enjoying life as much as we can. In this video, we're gonna finally work on getting that LS, the Chevy, what was it, GMC, the GM 5.3 Vortec engine into the Thunderbird. It's about time. And the transmission, the 4L60E transmission, which they say is not the strongest transmission, but I'm going to be running mostly stock engine, and the transmission is brand new. If you guys remember a few videos back when I was talking about the truck that I got the engine from, had a brand new transmission in it, so that's a plus. But yeah, so we're going to finally put it in the Thunderbird, make engine mounts, make the cross member for the transmission to mount the transmission on it. So yeah, let's stick around. Let's see if it works, if it fits, if there's anything, if there's any issues we come across, which I'm sure there will be. Yeah, enjoy. All right, so here we are. The engine is finally kind of in its place. Transmission is kind of in its place. It's sitting on a transmission jack right now. As you can see, my engine hoist is a little undersized for what I'm doing here, but either way, still making it work, just a lot harder. Big pain in the butt. But I have now at least figured out that to make this engine work, I need a front sump oil pan with a remote oil filter location. So yeah, at least we got to this point where we know how to make it work. Because even if I made all this work, all my steering system goes around this side behind the cross member. So I don't have room for steering. I'd have to convert it to power steering or something and move that in the front somehow, which I think would be a big pain in the butt. That, and I almost have no room for, I'd have to cut the transmission tunnel, lift the transmission up, because right now it's as high as it can go. I still need to go up at least an inch. That, then the heater core is in the way now. So as you can see, I damaged it a little bit, but whatever. So yeah, front sump oil pan is what we need, and that will, per the measurements, I'm going to be able to move this whole thing forward, or I'm going to have to move it forward. It's about 10 inches in the front with the one I'm looking at. I'm going to have to move it forward a little bit, so basically right where the rear sump starts or stops or whatever, the lowest part of the sump, where that stops, it's going to be kind of in the same area, a little bit closer, right where the cross member is where it's going to be. But so that's going to have to move forward. So I need to move forward at least 2 inches, maybe 3 inches, which I think still gives me plenty of room for activities in the front as far as radiators go, and fans and all that kind of stuff. I think the original fan ain't gonna work. I don't think I'm gonna have room for it, but that's alright either way. I wanted the electric fans, so we're gonna be converting it to electric fan once we get there. But for now, this is where we're at. I need to order the sump. I need to order some parts to make the custom engine mounts. I'm gonna try the ones on Amazon, the universal ones, and make it work here with some other plates and try to reuse the original mount. I tried reusing the original engine mounts that came off of this engine, but it would just sit way too high and then didn't have room for anything. So either way, I need to order the sump and some engine mounts. So yeah, that's the progress with this. That's where we're at. We'll see you back when the parts arrive. Alright, so we got the engine on the engine stand again, except it's a new engine this time. Yeah, this one at least spins through fairly easily too. So here's a good cleaning. Other than that, I think it's pretty good. So yeah, but what we're gonna do now is probably gonna pull the oil pan. Maybe I'll clean it. I don't know. Either pull the oil pan or clean it. Maybe after I pull the oil pan, I'll clean it. And now I'm looking at it. I should have mounted this right here. Probably would have been better, because I gotta take the oil pan off, and that's in the way. Either way, I'm gonna be pulling this pan out because that's not gonna work in the car. The cross member's in the way. It basically ends up sitting right here, and I need the engine to move forward more, and it hits the cross member. And the steering is supposed to go in this area where the cross member goes. So yeah, I'm getting the front sump oil pan. I already ordered that, already came in. So basically the deep part is going to be in the front, and then plus new oil pickup line and everything. It's going to have a remote oil filter location, which would be cool because I can mount it anywhere and make it easier for oil changes. So, but yeah, that's the current goal. Then just a really deep cleaning, because this thing's a mess. So here we go. Alright, I decided to give you guys a quick update. If it's not obvious, I'm gonna paint this thing right now. So I cleaned it a bunch with degreaser and stuff, engine cleaner. I got a bunch of the gunk off of it and scraped everything else that I could. Then I cleaned it again with some brake cleaner, so there's no oils left and stuff like that. Then I decided I'll paint it right now before I pull the oil pan. That way I don't have to mask anything out on the bottom, and then I don't have to paint the new oil pan. That way it's all gonna be clean and pretty. It's not gonna look like I just, you know, did a backyard paint job. Trying to make this look as good as possible. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm gonna give it a quick paint job. I didn't record most of this. Don't think much people really want to watch some random guy cleaning an engine and taping it up and stuff. So yeah, I'll get back to you once it's painted. Alright, and here it is, all painted. Look at that. That's just beautiful. I decided not to paint the this cover. Give it some contrast. It looks pretty original too. And then there's this side. Look at that. I taped up all these mounting points just so it's not all painted when I tighten stuff down, so it's not going to crack the paint. Plus whatever threaded spots I could find, I tried to tape those up. Got carried away, painted the pulley. At least it looks new now. Like I said, the pump is, not the pump, the oil pan is getting replaced. That'll be next. That's why that's all nasty. Yeah, engine's all clean too. Clean up all the pistons. The walls look beautiful. So yeah, maybe I'll clean this up a little bit more with some Scotch-Brite, just get a cleaner surface. But it's pretty clean. It just kind of looks stained. And yeah, so now we gotta tear this thing apart, or at least the oil pan after it dries. Replace that and shove it back in the car again.
Alright, got that all cleaned up. Bit of bad news. Didn't realize when I ordered the new pan, very nice pan, it's the wrong one. It fits, but I haven't changed anything other than just getting a new pan with this. I mean, it looks amazing. Looks a little better than the other one did, and the OEM one did. But yeah, it's supposed to be front sump, and I accidentally ordered the wrong one, so I gotta exchange it. So now we gotta wait some more. Yeah, but either way, that's okay. We'll wait. So I'll return that, and for now, I'll reinstall this plate, because why not? So the bolts don't get lost. Yeah, and then we'll keep waiting. So see you guys back whenever new parts arrive. Alright, so the new oil tank finally came in. Front sump design, which is cool. Got the gasket loosely on there. Got the oil pickup tube on there. That's looking pretty good. So yeah, basically now we just throw the oil pan on, get that tightened down, flip this thing around, put it on the engine crane, and start trying to shove it in the car. And hopefully all my problems go away after that, and I can start finally making the engine mounts. So here we go. Alright, look at that. It's pretty dark, but it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So I went with the original, the OEM hardware, even though it came with its own hardware. But right here by the flex plate, I think is what it's called. I had to use the hardware that it came with, just because the original ones weren't long enough anymore. But other than that, yeah, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So we'll flip it over and try to get it up into the car. Okay. Yep. Got another helper. So, well, yeah, here we go. I forgot to install the motor mounts that I got. So I bought these off of Amazon. They're just universal mounts. But I mean, look how thick that steel is. So basically, I'll get these, I'll install them, and then I'll modify all that to work with my crossmember. And that just bolts on right there, and then you kind of go wherever. So to here, I'm probably gonna weld on a piece of angle iron or something that's gonna then attach to my to the cross member. So yeah, I got to pull the engine back out because I forgot to at least slide those on. So yeah, I'll see you back once these are on and the engine is back in the engine bay. Alright, so got them loosely installed. Everything is easy to move. These do have quite a bit of adjustment in them, so that's kind of cool. Bolts are super heavy duty. Everything's pretty heavy duty here. So I'm pretty happy so far with it. I'll put a link. Got a little dinosaur out there, but I'll put a link in the description below. So if anybody wants these, they are pretty sweet. I like how thick they are. I know they'll be pretty strong. Maybe it's overkill, but they'll be strong. So yeah. Now we'll put it back in. All right, so got it kind of sitting in there. It's pretty close with the original mounts on that crossmember. So yeah, but it's kind of in the right position for now, or partially. And then but I put that transmission back up to it, see if I can mount that right there and see if this angle is going to work or not. Yeah, so it's kind of low in there, or maybe it just looks like it is just because none of the accessories on the head's not on, the intake's not on, so it looks a little low. But I can't go too much higher because I don't know if the bell house is going to fit up without having to cut the firewall and the transmission tunnel. I really don't want to do that. So yeah, we'll try to move that forward, bolt it up, at least in a couple bolts, so I can start maneuvering it as one big piece, and then make sure everything lines up between the engine mounts, and then make sure I have a good spot to make the transmission mount. So yeah, that was the update. Here we go. Alright, so transmission is mounted onto the engine. I got it kind of sitting, I think, in its final resting place, where it's not too far in each way. So, and then I got the angle. You're supposed to be checking it off of the drive shaft yoke, I think is what it's called, the angle, but I don't have it in the transmission yet, so for now I'm checking it right here, assuming that this level would be in line with all the mechanics and in line with the yoke, and we're right at 5 degrees right here. And from what research I've done for these engines, the best is to be between, I think, 2 and 5 degrees, and we're right at 5, so maybe it's like 4.5. I don't have a digital angle finder, so this should be good enough for what we're doing with it. And then this way, I'm gonna assume it's supposed to be a 0, and we're pretty close. We're like 1 degree off right now, so we'll be able to fine tune it a little bit once we're mounting stuff up. But yeah, so now it's finally time to start making those mounts. So what I'm thinking for now, I get a piece of angle iron in there. Might even have to weld it, we'll see, because I don't know how to bolt the angle iron to that piece, but so I might weld it straight to that. But I'll do the angle iron, and then the tabs that it came with, I'll cut those down to wherever they need to be so that it just lines up with everything, and bolt it up, bolt it in there, weld everything together, and then remove it and do a finish weld and paint and stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at, and that's the current plan. We'll see how it goes once we actually start making stuff. So. Alright, so this is exactly why you want to do tack welds. I had to cut that one off because something's moved a little bit. I got everything recentered, so that one ended up moving down a little bit. I got this angle down a little bit too, and then earlier I said this was pretty close. It wasn't perfect, but I got this. I think that's whenever it stops, but it's pretty dang close to zero. It's almost perfect, so I'm really happy about that. I got the other side right here tacked. So yeah, it's starting to look pretty good. Cool, so double check that one again, and that right there, right on the money. Next, check this one again. Wait for that to settle down. And that looks like once it settles, it's gonna settle down. It's gonna be about 4 degrees. Which, if I'm correct, and you know the rest of it's gonna be facing the same, the yoke, then I should be good. And hopefully that is the case. If not, then I could probably shim the transmission a little bit in the end. But there you go. About 4 degrees, not too bad. So yeah, now we move on to the transmission mounts. Probably not going to record much of that just because it's underneath the car and it's a little difficult to record in there. But I'll build it. Same concept. Underneath the car though, I'm going to do everything angle iron probably. And I'm going to reuse the original transmission mount that came with the transmission. So let's see if we can get underneath here. Alright. So it's dark too, so that doesn't help. Well, there's the original transmission mount. And then you could see where the original cross member went for the Thunderbird itself. So yeah, put some angle iron across there and have it bolt straight up to the transmission, which should be pretty sweet, I think. I'll cut 2 pieces, bolt it up to the original location, and then weld the cross member to those 2 pieces, and that way everything's removable. So not too bad. Just gonna be 5 nuts in total to hold everything, or once everything's welded, but it's gonna be removable cross member, so that'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, so that's the plan. Alright, so there's the 2 pieces I was talking about. Drill some holes. That's what that line is for. That's about where it's going to line up once it's up in there. But basically, we'll drill holes, bolt that up. That's gonna sit there. Copy both of them, and then this other piece right here. Once those are bolted up, all this one's gonna have to do is basically that. Just put it up against it and weld it. And then obviously, you know, round down the corners and stuff like that. Make it pretty and painted and stuff so it's removable, or when it's removed, it at least looks professional. But yeah, that's the basic idea. So it's gonna have that, and then come on this side, and yeah, it should be pretty simple. So nice, sturdy, simple, and I get to reuse the original transmission mount, which is really cool. So it's be easy to find one when that goes bad. So yeah, I'll drill this out right now. All right, then I got it marked. It's about 1 inch away from each side. Just gotta drill it out, bolt them up. Hopefully I can find the nuts for that. But basically bolt it up, put the cross member in, find the center, drill that out for the transmission mount, and yeah, go all good. So let me move on to drilling. There it is. Didn't show much of the process of welding it, but basically just angle iron, pretty thick one too. Got a little 90 right here, 90 right there, and the cross member going right here. So these bolts, or these holes, are the ones that line up to the original bolts that are sticking out from underneath the car for the original cross member. So that's nice, and I got pretty lucky. That lined up right there. Wasn't much modification or anything too crazy to do, but yeah, not too bad, not terrible, I guess. Now I just gotta paint it, and yeah, once it's painted, get it installed. I got it all grinded down already and smoothed out the edges, so nothing's sharp, so it looks kind of pretty too. I think it turned out pretty decent. So you can see I had this was sticking down a little bit, so I smoothed down that edge, and yeah, so we'll get it painted, and that should be it for the cross member. And then gotta pull the engine back out and fully weld in the engine mounts. So alright, there it is. There's the final product. Paint's still a little bit tacky, but yeah, I'd say it looks pretty good. I think it turned out super cool. So yeah. Now we move on to finish welding the engine mounts. So yeah, here we go. Alright, so there it is. Got the transmission mounts welded up. So you can kind of tell it's just angle iron, which is this piece right here. This rounded bracket came with the mounts. This piece right here, I just cut off of the scraps from these guys, just to fill that in right there, just to make it stronger. So yeah, did both sides the same way. Looking pretty good. Cleaned it all up and painted it. Just so at least it looks good now. Yeah, I almost want to just clean everything up and paint the whole engine bay already, just to make it look good. Yeah, what's going on there?
So, we actually did some new things for the engine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did we do?
We put on those thingies yesterday. And we put that on. I don't know what day we put that. And yeah. We did some new things.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. That's it then. Alright, look at that. I think that looks amazing in there. That almost looks like it's meant to be. Yeah, I got everything cleaned up, the blocks painted, got this thing shoved in here. And I just mocked things up, literally just to show it and just to see how good that looks in there. Still got to order the gaskets, new head gaskets, and all the seals and everything. Make sure nothing leaks. But yeah, overall this thing looks amazing in here. It fit finally. New oil pan, engine mounts. What else? Transmission's in there. You can kind of see the engine mounts. They're fully welded in now, but loosely bolted on. Got to pull everything out to clean up this engine bay and all. But yeah, everything's loosely bolted on, but everything does fit, which is amazing. The only problem I may or may not have is the starter goes down there. And this starter sits in a similar spot as the original starter sat in on the original bill housing in the Ford, but that sat a little higher. This is a little bit lower, and I'm hoping it's not going to be a huge problem, but the steering goes right there, so I gotta put the starter in there, redo the steering and assemble that, and go through the full suspension travel and make sure that does not hit the starter. I'm pretty sure it'd be fine, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, so we'll see. Hopefully it's not a problem. If it is, they sell smaller starters, and then they sell starters that you can adjust the location of it, I guess. So hopefully we can find something to make it work if it is a problem. But more than that, I'm hoping it's not a problem at all. So yeah, so that's the other issue I may or may not come across. So far it hasn't been too bad getting this thing in here, other than the oil pan was the only hassle for now. Only thing that I had to fully replace. So which is cool. I'll have a new oil pan. It's gonna have a new I'm gonna have a remote oil filter location, so that would be kind of cool for, you know, oil change out and stuff. I can kind of put it in whatever spot I think is the most comfortable for me. And yeah, so that's it. I think it looks amazing. Just got to clean everything up now. Tear all this out of here, clean everything up, cut that battery box out of there. I may or may not be keeping the battery in that location. If I am, I'll build another box for it, but that obviously needs to go before I paint everything here. Yeah, so all this, the plan currently is I'm gonna shave all this off. There's a lot of videos and pictures of people doing that with these intakes. Shave everything down. I'm not gonna have the original cover for it, but yeah,
get it shaved down, sanded down, and painted, and hopefully that looks good. At least cleaner than that, because it may or may not fit the hood. That's very, very close. So I'm trying to maximize how much space I have. That's, you know, wasted space that doesn't really need I don't really need all that, except that sensor. Got to figure out what that is and what to do with it. But I know people do the shave, so I know it's doable at the very least. Maybe I'll just bypass that sensor. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video, and we'll probably be either cleaning up the engine bay in the next video, finally finalizing that and getting it all painted and freshened up, or rebuilding the steering links and stuff. So we'll see. Thanks for sticking around. See you next video.